Beneath the blazing sun, in the eternal gaze of the Sphinx, Alexandria emerges from the swirling sands of time, a jewel upon the Egyptian coast. As the sea breeze dances over the Mediterranean, it whispers tales of grandeur and wisdom. For this city was once the heart of a sprawling empire. It was here among the towering columns and bustling markets that a young woman, destined to become a legend, would seize her place in history. A woman known to the world as Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt. Cleopatra VII, Philopatra, was not just a sovereign. She was a captivating enigma whose charisma and intellect resonated through the ages. Born in 69 BC, she was the daughter of Ptolemy XIII, a ruler whose reign was fraught with challenges. From an early age, Cleopatra stood out, not only for her royal lineage, but for her keen mind and formidable presence. She spoke several languages fluently, including Greek and Egyptian, a rare skill among her dynasty. Her education embraced philosophy, mathematics, and astronomy, equipping her with the tools to navigate the complex political landscapes of her time. But the path to the throne was not a gentle ascent. It was a tumultuous journey marked by familial discord and external threats. Upon her father's death, Cleopatra, alongside her younger brother Ptolemy XIII, assumed the throne as co-rulers. Yet the partnership was far from harmonious. Driven by advisors who feared Cleopatra's growing influence, Ptolemy III sought to sideline his sister. This ignited a power struggle that would test Cleopatra's resolve and cunning. In a bid to reclaim her rightful place, Cleopatra demonstrated both strategic brilliance and bravery. By 48 BC, exiled by her brother's advisors, she found herself on the fringes of her own kingdom. However, the tides of fate were about to turn. In a world where alliances were forged in the crucible of necessity, Cleopatra sought out the most powerful ally of the time, Julius Caesar. Legend speaks of her daring entrance to meet the Roman general, smuggled into his quarters wrapped in a carpet. It was a bold gambit, designed to win Caesar's favor and support. The meeting between Cleopatra and Julius Caesar marked the beginning of a legendary alliance, both personal and political. Caesar, captivated by her wit and charm, saw in Cleopatra a formidable partner. Their bond was more than a mere romance. It was a calculated union of power and ambition. Cleopatra returned to Alexandria, bolstered by Caesar's might. Together, they quashed Ptolemy's forces in the Battle of the Nile, sealing Cleopatra's position as the sole ruler of Egypt. With Caesar at her side, Cleopatra set about transforming her vision for Egypt. She was not content to merely preserve the status quo. She aspired to elevate her kingdom to new heights. Thus began a period of revitalization as Cleopatra sought to strengthen Egypt's economy and infrastructure. Her reign was characterized by grand construction projects, including the expansion of the Library of Alexandria. Cleopatra's alliance with Caesar was not only a personal triumph, but a strategic maneuver. Her relationship with Rome was a delicate dance, balancing the interests of her own nation with the burgeoning power of the Roman Republic. Cleopatra's ambitions were not confined to Egypt. She envisioned a future where her lineage might rule over both Rome and Egypt, a dream that seemed within reach through her son, Caesarion, whom she bore with Caesar. As the sun set over the Nile, casting a golden hue across its waters, Cleopatra and Caesar embarked on a legendary voyage. Their journey along the river was not merely a display of opulence, but a symbolic assertion of their combined power. The Nile, with its life-giving waters, was the lifeblood of Egypt. In traversing it, Cleopatra reaffirmed her sovereignty and the unity of their fates. Yet even as Cleopatra solidified her rule, the political landscape of Rome was shifting. Caesar's assassination in 44 BC would thrust Cleopatra into a new era of uncertainty, testing her ability to maintain her throne amidst the turmoil of Roman politics. The alliance that had secured her reign was shattered. Cleopatra would need to navigate the treacherous waters once more to safeguard her legacy and her son's future. As the tale of Cleopatra unfolds, her story becomes one of resilience and relentless ambition, a testament to the enduring spirit of a queen who dared to challenge the currents of history. The assassination of Julius Caesar sent ripples through the Mediterranean world, plunging Rome into chaos and placing Cleopatra in a precarious position. With the death of her powerful ally, the stability of her reign was jeopardized, and the future of her son, Caesarion, uncertain. As the news of Caesar's murder reached Alexandria, Cleopatra mustered all her political acumen. She navigated the shifting allegiances and power struggles that ensued in the wake of Rome's upheaval. In the power vacuum that followed Caesar's demise, Rome descended into a vicious struggle for control. Mark Antony, a charismatic and ambitious general, emerged as one of the key figures vying for dominance. Recognizing the importance of securing powerful alliances, Cleopatra turned her gaze once more towards Rome. In 41 BC, she sailed to Tarsus to meet Antony, an encounter that would mark the beginning of another potent partnership. Cleopatra's arrival in Tarsus was nothing short of theatrical. She sailed up the Cydnus River in a magnificent barge, adorned with purple sails and oars of silver. While she reclined under a gilded canopy, her entrance was a calculated display of wealth and power. It was designed to captivate Antony and demonstrate the grandeur of her kingdom. It was a scene that melded the opulence of the East with the majesty of the Nile. Antony, much like Caesar, was enthralled by Cleopatra's allure and intellect. Their meeting blossomed into a romance, but more importantly, it became a strategic alliance. Antony saw in Cleopatra a formidable partner who could provide resources and political support. For Cleopatra, Antony was a means to strengthen her position against Octavian. As their alliance deepened, Cleopatra and Antony embarked on a journey to consolidate their power. They spent the winter of 41 to 40 BC in Alexandria, a period marked by revelry and political planning. Cleopatra, ever the astute diplomat, offered Antony resources, troops, and wealth. This enhanced his campaigns against Roman adversaries. In return, Antony acknowledged Caesarion as Caesar's legitimate son. This was a significant step in securing her son's future. The bond between Cleopatra and Antony was not merely a political convenience. It was a partnership that sparked both admiration and envy across the ancient world. Together, they envisioned a vast empire stretching from Egypt to the reaches of Rome. A fusion of cultures and power that would defy the might of their enemies. They became the embodiment of Eastern opulence and Roman ambition, a union that tantalized and terrified their contemporaries. However, their aspirations were not without formidable obstacles. Octavian, determined to consolidate his power and avenge Caesar, viewed Antony and Cleopatra's alliance as a direct threat. The stage was set for a confrontation that would decide the fate of nations. In 31 BC, tensions culminated in the naval battle of Actium, a clash that pitted the combined forces of Cleopatra and Antony against Octavian's fleet. The waters off the coast of Greece became the arena for this decisive encounter. Despite their formidable resources, Cleopatra and Antony's forces were ultimately outmaneuvered. As the battle turned against them, Cleopatra made a fateful decision to withdraw her fleet, a move that led to the collapse of their forces and marked a turning point in their fortunes. In the aftermath of Actium, the dream of a unified empire under Cleopatra and Antony crumbled. Their retreat to Egypt marked the beginning of the end for both their reign and their lives. As Octavian pursued his victory, Cleopatra faced the daunting task of defending her kingdom. Yet even in the face of impending doom, Cleopatra's resolve did not falter. She fortified her defenses, preparing to make a last stand in Alexandria. Amidst the ruins of their ambitions, Cleopatra and Antony found solace in each other, their love a testament to their shared dreams and the empire they sought to build. As Octavian closed in, Cleopatra's story was poised to reach its dramatic climax. A tale of power, passion, and perseverance that would resonate through the sands of time. The Queen of the Nile, ever the strategist, would confront her fate with the same indomitable spirit that had defined her reign. Leaving an indelible mark on history, the sun rose over Alexandria, casting its golden light upon the city that had been Cleopatra's kingdom and sanctuary. Within its walls, the final act of her epic saga was unfolding. Octavian's forces had crossed into Egypt, bringing with them the promise of conquest and the end of an era. Yet Cleopatra, the indomitable Queen of the Nile, was prepared to meet her fate with dignity and resolve. As Octavian advanced, Cleopatra retreated into her royal quarters within the palace, a labyrinth of opulence and history. It was here that she orchestrated her final stand. Negotiations with Octavian were attempted, as Cleopatra sought to secure a future for her children, particularly Caesarion, whom she hoped might yet claim his father's legacy. However, Octavian was resolute, his ambitions allowing no room for compromise. In a desperate bid to maintain some semblance of power, Cleopatra sent messages to Octavian, hoping to charm and negotiate as she had done with Caesar and Antony. Yet the young Roman leader was not swayed by her overtures. Octavian saw Cleopatra as a symbol of the Eastern threat to Roman supremacy, a figure who must be vanquished to cement his own authority. Meanwhile, Antony, broken and defeated, lingered in the shadows of his former glory. Miscommunication and despair led him to believe that Cleopatra had already taken her own life. In anguish, Antony fell upon his sword, a tragic end for a man who had once stood alongside the greatest figures of Rome. His dying wish was to be brought to Cleopatra, a request that was fulfilled by loyal servants. In her arms, he breathed his last, leaving Cleopatra to face the encroaching Roman forces alone. The final hours of Cleopatra's life were shrouded in mystery and legend. Octavian entered Alexandria, claiming the city in the name of Rome. As he approached the palace, Cleopatra prepared herself for the inevitable. Her death, much like her life, was a subject of myth and speculation. According to the ancient historians, Cleopatra chose to die on her own terms, employing the bite of an asp, a symbol of her royal lineage, to deliver her from captivity and humiliation. This act of defiance ensured that Cleopatra would not be paraded as a trophy in Octavian's triumph in Rome, preserving her dignity and legacy. Her death marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the beginning of Roman dominion over Egypt. Octavian, now Augustus, would transform the republic into an empire, with Egypt as its prized possession. Cleopatra's children were spared, taken to Rome where they were raised in the household of Octavia, the sister of Octavian. Caesarion, however, seen as a potential threat to Octavian's rule, was not so fortunate. His fate was sealed, a victim of the ruthless politics that had shaped his mother's world. Despite the loss of her kingdom, Cleopatra's legacy endured. She became a figure of legend and intrigue, her story immortalized by historians, poets, and playwrights. The narrative of her life, filled with passion, power, and tragedy, was told and retold. Each account added layers to the enigma of the queen who had dared to challenge the might of Rome. Cleopatra's reign had been a testament to her intelligence, charm, and political acumen. She navigated the turbulent waters of her time with a vision that sought the preservation of her kingdom. Her goal was its elevation to a stature that rivaled Rome itself. Her life was a dance of diplomacy and daring, where every move was calculated to secure her place in history. Today, Cleopatra of power, passion, and ultimately tragedy. At the heart of her story lies an era marked by intense political turmoil and seismic shifts in the ancient world. The political stage was fraught with tension and intrigue. Rome, the juggernaut of the ancient world, was embroiled in internal strife, with power struggles that would change the course of history. The assassination of Julius Caesar in 44 BCE sent shockwaves through Rome and beyond. Caesar, once Cleopatra's lover and ally, had not only given her a son, Caesarion, but had also been a formidable force in securing her throne. With his death, the delicate political balance was shattered, leaving Cleopatra's position precarious. In the turbulent years that followed, Cleopatra faced a myriad of challenges. As Rome descended into chaos, with factions vying for control, Cleopatra's fate seemed inextricably linked to the outcomes of these Roman power struggles. Her intelligence and strategic acumen became her most potent weapons in navigating this treacherous landscape. Amidst this backdrop, a new figure emerged, Mark Antony. A charismatic and ambitious Roman general, Antony was one of the triumvirs, the trio of leaders that included Octavian and Lepidus, tasked with stabilizing Rome after Caesar's assassination. Antony's encounter with Cleopatra in 41 BCE marked the beginning of a powerful alliance both politically and romantically. Their meeting at Tarsus was legendary. Cleopatra arrived on a magnificent barge, exuding the aura of a living goddess. Captivated by her charm and intellect, Antony formed a partnership that would alter the course of history. Cleopatra, through her alliance with Antony, found a renewed foothold in the political arena. Together, they sought to consolidate power and challenge the dominance of Octavian, Caesar's heir. Their union was as much a strategic alliance as it was a love affair, aiming to secure their respective thrones and envisioning a vast empire that stretched across the Mediterranean. However, the tides of fortune began to shift with the advent of the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE. This decisive naval confrontation between the forces of Octavian and the combined fleets of Antony and Cleopatra would become a turning point. As the sun rose on that fateful day, the azure waters of the Ionian Sea became the stage for a clash that reverberated through the ancient world. Visuals of naval warfare reveal the chaos and desperation of battle. Cleopatra, aboard her flagship, watched as the conflict unfolded, her heart heavy with the weight of impending doom. The battle raged with ferocity, but it was Octavian's forces that ultimately prevailed. In a desperate bid to escape capture, Cleopatra fled the scene, her hopes and dreams dashed upon the waves. The aftermath of Actium sealed the fate of Antony and Cleopatra. Defeated and demoralized, Antony's spirit was broken. With his forces scattered and his reputation in tatters, he returned to Alexandria. He faced the unrelenting pressure of Octavian's advancing legions. Antony's demise came swiftly thereafter, a tragic end to a life marked by ambition and love. In the shadow of these events, Cleopatra was left to grapple with her own fate. Her heart ached with loss and regret, yet her resolve remained unbroken. As Octavian's army closed in on Alexandria, she prepared for her final stand. Determined to meet her end on her own terms, her death became the stuff of myth. In her final moments, Cleopatra's thoughts may have drifted to the legacy she would leave behind. Her life had been a whirlwind of triumphs and tribulations, each moment etched into the annals of time. Her influence extended far beyond the borders of Egypt, shaping the cultural and political landscapes of the ancient world. Cleopatra's tragic demise marked the end of an era. Her legacy, however, endured, immortalized in history and legend. As the sands of time shifted, her story continued to captivate the imaginations of generations to come. The queen who dared to defy the odds, who wielded power with grace and intelligence, remains an enduring symbol of strength and resilience. Through the corridors of history, Cleopatra's name echoes, a testament to a life lived with passion and purpose. Her story is one of conflict and loss, of downfall and legacy, a narrative that transcends time. It leaves an indelible mark on the world she sought to conquer. As the dust settled on the tumultuous events following the Battle of Actium, the landscape of power in the ancient world was irrevocably transformed. Cleopatra, the enigmatic queen who had once stood shoulder to shoulder with the greatest leaders of her time, now faced her final days in the shadow of Octavian's impending victory. Her life, a saga of ambition and allure, was drawing to a close. Yet her influence continued to ripple through the corridors of history. Octavian, soon to be known as Augustus, the first Roman emperor, was a formidable adversary. His relentless pursuit of power and consolidation of control over Rome and its territories marked the dawn of the Roman Empire. With Cleopatra's defeat, Octavian sought to erase any remnants of her dynasty, determined to bring Egypt firmly under Roman rule. However, Cleopatra's indomitable spirit and her strategic acumen were not so easily vanquished. In the waning days of her reign, Cleopatra's mind was a whirlwind of plans and possibilities. She understood the precariousness of her position, but remained resolute in her desire to secure a future for her children, particularly Caesarion. Her attempts to negotiate with Octavian were driven by this singular goal, a testament to her enduring role as both ruler and mother. The city of Alexandria, a jewel of the ancient world, became the final battleground for Cleopatra's legacy. Within its walls, she fortified her position, surrounding herself with loyalists and preparing for the possibility of a siege. The cultural and intellectual heart of the Mediterranean, Alexandria was a city that mirrored Cleopatra's own complexities. A fusion of Greek and Egyptian influences, a melting pot of ideas and innovation. Amidst this backdrop, Cleopatra continued to wield her considerable charisma and intelligence. Her court was a vibrant center of learning and diplomacy, attracting scholars, artists, and statesmen from across the known world. Even in the face of impending doom, Cleopatra's court was a testament to her vision of a flourishing, cosmopolitan society. The personal dynamics within Cleopatra's inner circle added layers of intrigue to her story. Figures like Apollodorus, her trusted advisor, played crucial roles in her attempts to navigate the treacherous waters of politics and power. Their counsel and loyalty were invaluable as Cleopatra sought to outmaneuver Octavian and preserve her kingdom. Yet as Octavian's forces tightened their grip on Alexandria, Cleopatra's options dwindled. Her once grand visions of empire and legacy were overshadowed by the stark realities of military defeat and political isolation. The walls that had witnessed her greatest triumphs now seemed to close in, echoing with the whispers of her imminent demise. In these final moments, Cleopatra's resolve never wavered. Her decision to take her own life was not born of despair, but of defiance. Faced with the prospect of being paraded through Rome as a captive, she chose to die on her own terms. The method of her death remains a subject of fascination and debate. Whether it was the bite of an asp or another means, Cleopatra's exit was as enigmatic as her life had been. The aftermath of Cleopatra's death marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the beginning of Egypt's long period as a province of Rome. Her children, including Caesarion, faced uncertain futures. Caesarion, seen as a threat by Octavian due to his lineage, was captured and executed. Cleopatra's surviving children, Alexander Helios, Ptolemy Philadelphus, and Cleopatra Selene, were taken to Rome. There, under the care of Octavian's sister Octavia, They became pawns in the political landscape of the new Roman regime. Cleopatra's legacy, however, lived on through Cleopatra Selene. She would go on to marry King Jubadeku of Mauritania and continue her mother's legacy of cultural fusion and political acumen. As the Roman Empire solidified its hold over the Mediterranean, Cleopatra's story became legend. Her life and death inspired countless works of art and literature, from the plays of Shakespeare to the paintings of the Renaissance. Her image, often romanticized and mythologized, became a symbol of the enduring allure and complexity of female power. In the grand tapestry of history, Cleopatra's narrative is one of resilience and reinvention. Her legacy, woven into the very fabric of Western culture, continues to captivate and inspire. As we delve deeper into the layers of her life, we uncover not just the story of a queen, but a reflection of the timeless human quest for power, identity, and immortality. As the Roman Empire expanded its reach and the Ptolemaic dynasty faded into the annals of history, Cleopatra's legacy continued to thrive in the corridors of power. Her story, a rich tapestry of ambition, intelligence, and allure, became a touchstone for understanding the complexities of power and identity. Cleopatra's influence on Rome was profound, even in her absence. Her legacy was visible in the cultural exchanges that flourished between Egypt and Rome. The fascination with Egyptian art, religion, and architecture became evident in the proliferation of Egyptian motifs throughout the Roman world. Obelisks were transported to Rome. Egyptian deities found a place in Roman religious practices. The exotic allure of Egypt captured the Roman imagination. In the realm of literature, Cleopatra's life became a source of inspiration for poets and playwrights. Her storied romance with Antony, immortalized by the likes of William Shakespeare in Antony and Cleopatra, painted a picture of a woman whose love and ambition transcended the boundaries of her time. These literary works not only chronicled her life, but also explored the enduring themes of love, power, and betrayal. Cleopatra's portrayal in art and literature was multifaceted. While some depicted her as a seductress who wielded her beauty to manipulate powerful men, others saw her as a shrewd political strategist. This duality in her portrayal highlights the complexity of her character and the challenges she faced as a female ruler in a male-dominated world. The fascination with Cleopatra extended beyond Rome, influencing cultures and societies far removed from the Mediterranean world. Her legend reached the courts of Europe during the Renaissance, where she was celebrated as an emblem of feminine power and mystery. Artists and writers of the period drew upon her story, contributing to the creation of a mythos that has endured for centuries. In the modern era, Cleopatra's legacy continues to evolve. Her story has been reinterpreted through the lenses of feminism and post-colonialism. Scholars examine her life as a case study in the exercise of power by a woman in a patriarchal society. These re-examinations have sought to peel back the layers of myth and stereotype. They reveal a more nuanced understanding of Cleopatra as a leader, a mother, and a woman. Archaeological discoveries in Egypt have shed new light on Cleopatra's reign. Excavations in Alexandria have unearthed remnants of her palaces and artifacts that speak to the grandeur and complexity of her rule. These findings have deepened our understanding of her time. They provide tangible connections to the past that enrich the narrative of her life. In popular culture, Cleopatra remains an enduring icon. From Elizabeth Taylor's portrayal in the 1963 film to more recent adaptations, her life continues to captivate audiences. This fascination speaks to the timeless nature of her story, one that resonates with themes of power, love, and the quest for legacy. Cleopatra's life was one of contrasts, a queen who wielded immense power in a world dominated by Rome, a woman who defied norms and expectations, and a ruler whose strategic acumen left an indelible mark on history. Her ability to navigate the complexities of power and identity, to forge alliances and command loyalty, remains a testament to her extraordinary capabilities. As we reflect on Cleopatra's legacy, we are reminded of the enduring power of her story. Her life, marked by triumphs and tragedies, continues to resonate across the ages, inspiring new generations to explore the depths of her influence and the lessons she imparts. In the end, Cleopatra's story is not just about a queen who ruled an ancient kingdom, but about the timeless human quest for power, identity, and immortality. Her legacy, like the Nile that flows through her beloved Egypt, remains ever present, an eternal reminder of the complexities and wonders of history. The world will always remember Cleopatra,